Good day! Welcome to our Allianz C.E.O podcast. I'm Ming Hui, and today we are great to have Shi Qi on our set with us, okay?
Hello. Hi.
Hi. How many followers do you have right now on social media?
Total on all platforms, I think I have almost 7 million followers.
Wow, that's
Total.
Total, yeah.
Yes.
Because I think you have more on TikTok, right? So TikTok
Currently,
is
yes, more on
popular.
TikTok.
For your channel, right? In the past, it was more of teacher content, right? So how did you start off with this whole journey?
I posted one video on TikTok. It was just a video of me traveling back during MCO when the borders reopened, because I'm from Sarawak and I lived in KL, right? So borders reopened, I went home, I made a video about it, and then it was my second TikTok video. And I just, I made a video, I posted it, I just left it there. And then the next day when I checked it, they got 100,000 views. And I was like, I can't believe someone would want to watch my content. I think so from there I started to make more and more content, and then gradually I made some content in school, and so that's how it started.
What is your favorite content by far?
I think there's a video I made with my student, and then it was a very candid video where she was like, oh, I don't like my skin color, and she's darker than me. She's like, teacher, how do you get so fair? And then so we talked about skin color and how I didn't get fair, I was born like this, right? And so everyone's born with different skin colors, and we should love the colors, the skin color that we were born in. I think that was very impactful, even for me as a teacher, to have a conversation like that with my student.
How many jobs have you done so far?
My first ever job was as a waitress when I was studying uni.
Back in Oklahoma?
Yes, back in Oklahoma when I was studying in the States.
Alright.
So I did a few part-time jobs, but then my first ever full-time proper job was as a teacher, because that's what I studied.
Oh, okay.
So I decided to become a teacher, but when I moved to KL, I think I realized that, it's a pretty expensive city. I'm not from KL, so I'm renting and all of that. So I did some random part-time jobs. I did tutoring. I also helped my friend set up her Shopee store, because they had a physical store, and then during MCO, everything had to go online, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so what else did I try? Fiverr. Do you know what Fiverr is? It's like a website where people can hire you to do part-time things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was really trying to do some part-time jobs, trying to make some extra income. Yeah.
Okay. So what are the odd jobs that you have gotten on Fiverr?
Oh, it's really random. Someone paid me to edit her photos to help her make a nice feed.
Oh, okay. Really?
So people pay for those kind of things apparently.
Well, I mean, nowadays when we're not those olden uncle days whereby every cent matters, right? Nowadays, everyone will just go the extra mile to do.
Yeah, they want a nice Instagram feed. Yeah, so I help them do that.
Right. What were your thoughts in your mind when you started, especially, you first started with traveling back to Sarawak, right? And then you gradually move on to posting videos of yourself interacting with students. All right, what were your thoughts when you posted those kind of videos?
I just thought, I didn't really think much, honestly. Just I want to post something fun.
Okay.
Or because I'm a teacher, right? I want to post about my life as a teacher.
Oh, okay.
So it was more of just sharing that part of my life.
Okay.
And then slowly, I realized a lot of people enjoy watching teaching content. I think because everyone has been to school, so they can relate to that.
I mean, what you have shared, especially about those videos that really impacted me, are the one that what you put your thoughts into your mind really matters, and then to just love yourself and all those. I don't think it just inspires students to follow you. It inspires a lot of people to actually follow you through and to see what are the thoughts. And I think everyone on the back of my mind will be, if I have such a great teacher when I was back in school, I would do something. So in school. Of what age do you teach?
So previously I used to teach secondary school, so that's all of secondary. So from 1 to from 5, 13 to 17. But right now I teach primary school.
Okay, and how do you? You started off posting, because you wanted to showcase a day as a teacher.
Yeah.
But being a teacher myself, I know that there are a lot of prep work behind putting yourself and delivering that class, right? So how do you actually juggle between teaching, prepping for schoolwork, marking your student stuff, and then editing?
Yeah.
As you mentioned, you do everything on yourself before this.
Yeah. Wow. How? I worked a lot. That's my honest answer. I think as I was transitioning, So in the morning I would teach, go to school and teach, right? And then right after school I would film. So I would either film my classes when I was teaching, or I'll film after school, and then I'll go home and edit right away. And then I'll post that day. So
there's no delay time frame.
Yeah, so I film today, I post today. I think it's a lot about time management, just like knowing like, okay, this is what I want to do. So I carve out time to make sure that I'm able to do it, because I knew I wanted to post a video every day. And so I was like, okay, no matter what, I have to do it. And I think because I was so like consistent, I was able to grow on social media. When I first started, I posted every day. But not anymore. I cannot. But yeah, when I started, because I wanted to grow, right?
Yep.
So I think the start is when I had to be more consistent and put in more effort.
Okay, so now how often are your posts right now?
Now I post 3 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah, so a bit lesser. I have more time to do other things as well.
So now it's like more time to gather more content around.
Yeah,
observing.
and like as I grow, of course I want to do better quality content. So the time, instead of like quantity, is like trying to make better videos as well.
Okay, so for viewers out there,
Here's my kids. yes.
Alright, okay. I also found out that you're not just an influencer, you're not just a teacher, you're actually a co-founder as well of But Honestly. Do you want to share with us what But Honestly is all about?
So it's a card game that I started even before I started content creating. When I was teaching as well, I was like, I want to start something of my own. So it's a conversational card game that promotes honest conversations, deeper relationships. So I created something that I felt was meaningful. And that was my first ever business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how do you juggle between, I believe all 3 jobs are very demanding and time consuming. So how do you just, other than time management, are there any other tips for audience?
My honest truth is that you cannot do too many things, right? You have to, as you're transitioning, those moments can be very busy, but you're just figuring out what you want, right? So in the transition period, maybe you work more than normal, but at the end of the day, you do have to learn and choose something. I think you cannot, there's no way I can do 3 jobs for the rest of my life. That's not feasible. Okay. But during that moment, because I was testing out different things, time management is definitely one, but having a good team to support you. So I didn't do the card game alone. Okay. I had a partner to help me out. And so I think it's all about balance and ultimately picking what you want to do in the long term. Yeah.
So have you found out what is your long-term thing that you want to really focus on?
I think I really enjoy content creating, which is not something I started doing, right? I was a teacher, but I've always loved making videos since I was a kid. I love YouTube. I love watching YouTube. I like being in front of the camera. I enjoy these things. So I think at this point, I realized that I'm passionate about kids. Like my education background really helped me with that. I know that I'm good with kids and I want to inspire and work with kids in the long run. So I think right now I would love to focus on making good content that are meaningful for kids to consume, but also to help bridge the gap between parents and kids. Because I feel sometimes adults don't really understand kids. And I'm very lucky that I work with kids all the time, so I can kind of see what they're thinking and experience their life. So I would love to do some connecting in that sense online for my viewers.
Nice, because I mean it's very true. How often that parents have forgotten where they have come from, and after being a parent, they just you're just trying to do the best for the child, and then yet it just ruins the whole relationship. So
sometimes you cannot connect. Like parents don't understand kids, kids don't understand parents. Yeah, so if I'm able to help that, then that would be very meaningful for me.
So are you going to have regulars on your social media?
Like regular
kids who are going to appear?
I hope so. We're planning some interesting things, so yeah.
Given that you mentioned just now that you're going to focus more on, creating content and stuff, and it's going to be something different, and more things are being involved, and you're now like a real businesswoman.
Yeah. Yes.
So what are the shifts that you need to make? Any paradigm shift in terms of mindset, in terms of your working style,
Yeah. I think previously when I was a teacher, it's like a fixed job, right? A fixed role, fixed expectations. You kind of know what you have to do. And every day the structure is set for you. But when you're your own business person, even as a content creator, I think that, like you said, right, it's a business, right? You are in charge of your own content. If I don't want to work, then I can don't work, right? It's really up to me.
Yes.
But it's really about, I think it's a lot more of being more initiative, taking more initiative, taking more ownership over my career, and realizing that I can drive my own career, and it's not someone else that dictates, do I get a raise, or dictates if I grow in that career. I decide for myself, which I think gives me a lot of power. Like, I feel like I enjoy that because I know that if I work hard, I'm able to grow in my career. And I really like the flexibility of like doing the things that I'm passionate in, and knowing that I can create content that means a lot to me, and not just whatever someone else thinks I should do. So I'm very privileged, like, to be able to do that.
So I get my freedom.
Yeah, really, really. And I think that is something that is so great with like running your own business or doing your own thing, is that freedom that you get to call the shots and decide what you want.
Being a teacher, things are very fixed, you know, you get regular paychecks as well.
Yes.
So, but being a businesswoman, basically, I mean, as you mentioned, it's actually how much of effort you put in. But oftentimes we also know that, you know, sometimes things are just not fruitful. But how are you going to, manage that kind of expectation? How are you going to manage your finances, being as a businesswoman? Yep.
Yeah, so like you said, the downside is that it comes with a certain amount of stress, right? Like, what if I don't get paid this month, or what if I don't hit, the number of like jobs that I should take this month? I think it's really about good financial planning, and you have to understand that that comes with your career. So your career is like this. It's not like every day same amount of money, right? Yeah, so
do you have like a financial advisor behind you?
Oh no, I am my own financial advisor. Maybe you can be my financial advisor. I don't know.
I'll get you someone professional.
Okay, that's a good idea. Maybe a new one. But yeah, it's just about like knowing, like, if I don't make enough, if I don't make the same amount of money this month, that's okay. And like learning to be okay with that, learning to be comfortable with no fixed paycheck every month is different, but I've gotten used to it. And if the right budgeting, I think I prefer it.
You should fly.
No, I prefer it. Yeah.
How do you measure success in everything that you do?
I think the most like traditional way is like, maybe if you look at my content creating role, it's like how many followers do I have, right? Or how much views do I get? That's a very standard and traditional role of measuring success, which is a way to measure success. Or with my teaching role, it's like, how good are my students' grades, right? Or how, I think grades is one of the biggest measurements of success. So that's the traditional role. But on the other side, it's more like how many students' lives I see change, or how many, like, maybe. Yeah, because sometimes I have a kid that comes into class, and during the start of the class, they're just like really naughty and they just cannot pay attention. But at the end of the class, they can pay attention. And maybe their grades don't grow, but their attention grows and they start to enjoy class more. I think that's also a measurement of success. With content creating, I think it's also about when people tell me that my content inspires them to be a teacher. I think to me that's really meaningful, because I never thought that my content will inspire others to become teachers. But if more teachers come into the field because they're inspired and not because they have no other job to do, right? Like, they actually want to be teachers, and I feel that the impact is a lot larger than myself, and yeah, that's very meaningful to me.
Which comments that by far you have read that actually move you to tears?
Ooh.
And that comment is like telling you, this is the right path and I should just continue doing what I'm doing right now.
That's a very good question. I think there was one time where I was not doing very well. And I never like post about these kind of things, but just randomly, one of my followers just sent me, I don't even remember the message, I don't really remember her name, but she was just encouraging me and telling me like how she was so inspired and she just knew that I was meant to do this. And for someone else that I don't know to see that in me and to affirm me, especially when I'm not feeling very like so good about myself or what I'm doing, was very touching lah, because I think people think that content creators, they just like know what they're doing and every time they're happy, and but sometimes it can be very lost, especially when you're doing your own thing. So to have people encourage you it reminds me like, okay, I am doing the right thing and I should continue to do it. Yeah.
So do you recommend for those who are, going to step out to try that career change, what is your piece of advice to them?
Just do it. I firmly believe that fear should never be a reason why you don't do something. So if you're just afraid to try something new, I think that overcoming that fear or just doing things even though you're afraid is great, because if fear is the only thing stopping you, then that is not a good enough reason. So just try. If there's something you really want to do, just try it. The worst you can do is fail, right? And then so what? Then just go back to whatever you were doing. There's really not much you can lose, I think, especially at a young age. That's the privilege you have when you're young. You can afford to fail and try again.
But what about those who are in their 40s?
Ooh, that's a good question. Just do it anyways.
Do you recommend to have like a backup plan?
Yeah, then maybe do it with caution. Yeah, not recklessly. Like don't quit all your, like if you want to be a creator, example, don't like quit everything and do it, right? Like do it on the side. Then there's no risk, right? It's just like carving out extra time to do something that you hope that you can grow. I think doing it with caution is important as well.
So it's like sacrifice on the sleep. So just be honest, when you are doing so many things, right? How many hours of sleep do you get on average every day?
I think sleep is very important. So I don't sleep. Maybe I just like don't watch so many dramas, or I don't like hang out with my friends so much. You have to sacrifice something. So you can't have everything. Yeah.
Cut out those unwanted times and just focus on what you really wanted at the time.
Yeah, I think when you're growing your career, you have to focus and like you cannot have everything. Like you cannot play all the time and still expect to grow, right? You have to be very realistic about it. But I think it was worth it for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you that impacting life is definitely one of things that motivate a lot of people, and one that, especially with Gen Z, I believe that, you have come across with your students, right? So, do we still do the things where we ask students, what are their ambition like?
Ooh, yeah, definitely. I think kids have all different kinds of ambitions, for sure, yeah. Now they want to be like YouTubers or content creators. They like freedom, I feel. So they like to be their own boss, so they like freedom, yeah.
Freedom. So, is when they say freedom, right, it's really just for freedom, or like you, they inspire to be like you to also impact other people as well?
Definitely. I feel that, just my opinion, Gen Zs, they care more about these things, right? Like work-life balance or having a meaningful job, which is good. I think they care more about those things now. So if anyone wants to try to start a new career or earn some side income, is there anything that you guys provide?
Yes, at Allianz we do. So for the university students, we actually have a SAP program that is open to all university students who are actually interested to earn side income, and extra pocket money, and to also have to just have the taste of being an entrepreneur, and at the same time, to have essential skills that could actually help them in the future as well. And to those who are actually interested to explore career switch with caution, all right? So we have CEO program that provides fixed income, and the earning potential is unlimited.
That's so good that you guys provide that. I feel like then they can do it and not feel so risky. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys provide something for uni students as well. Yeah.
Yep. And another thing, so we have for our programs, so there are a lot of trainings in place, so even less riskier. So especially for those who actually wants to try it out, all right. So we will ensure that you are being taught the ropes, and then you can be there. And we also have a community to actually support students or participants who are in this program, and that you will basically have a community to encourage each other as well.
So will you help them? Are you the support?
Back-end support.
Back-end support. So this is what you're going to be one of the support. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be one.
That's good. She's very nice, so.
Thank you for being here on Start with us, Shi Qi, and just spending time with us, sharing insightful journeys of you being an entrepreneur. And to those entrepreneurs out there, if you are thinking of a career switch, I hope you have also taken down notes of what Shi Qi has actually shared earlier about being a good time manager. All right. See you on the next episode, and goodbye.